Hey, my name is Milan, and in this video I'm going to introduce you to Central Package Management in .NET, why I think it's awesome, and a simple way of how you can introduce it into your .NET applications. So let's start by quickly explaining what Central Package Management is. We've had this feature for a couple of years now, and I think it's safe to say it's not nearly as popular as it should be. So how we typically manage NuGet packages in our .NET applications is you define the versions that you want to install within each of the csproj files in your solution. This tends to become somewhat complicated when you have the same NuGet package repeated in multiple projects, and Central Package Management aims to solve this. So how this works is you define a Directory.Packages.props file. It's an XML file, and you have to set the manage package version centrally property to true, and then you can define your package versions in an item group. So this is very similar to a package reference that we already have in our csproj files, and with this in place, you can change the csproj file to no longer include a version in the package reference. Now I'll show you how to apply this in practice real quick. Now, of course, you can customize this with multiple Directory.Packages.props file. They apply in a cascading fashion, depending on which folder they are defined in. You can also override package versions inside of your csproj files. Let's say we have two packages with versions 1 and 2. If you want to have a different version of that package for whatever reason in your csproj file, you can use the version override value to define the specific version that you want to use. So that's the high-level introduction. Now let's see what this would actually look like in a real .NET application. So what I have here is a fairly small solution with some 40 projects. It's a modular monolith with a couple of modules inside, and we obviously have a bunch of NuGet packages installed. So how do we move this to start using Central Package Management? Well, as I said, we first need to create a file called Directory.Packages.props. So let's introduce this as a solution level item. I'll say new item, and let's create an XML file, and I'm going to call this the Directory.Packages.props. So let me drop in the definition of what we're going to have inside. And the most important thing here is setting manage package version centrally to true. Now, this is going to cause some trouble when I try to build this solution, because this is now going to be applied globally. And as I said, I have 40 projects in this solution, including many test projects, and now none of them will build because all of the csproj files are also defining package versions. So how do we move this into Central Package Management? Well, I'm going to copy the package references that we have here, and let me just paste them into my Directory.Packages.props file. Now I'm going to update all of the package references to actually be a package version. And once I've completed this, I've managed to define my NuGet packages centrally. And now I need to go into my csproj file and manually get rid of any versions because they are now applied centrally. So you can see that this is pretty cumbersome and it involves a lot of manual work. And in a solution with 40 projects, I don't think I can estimate how long it would take to complete this migration. Now, nonetheless, the benefits of using this approach is that we have all of our NuGet packages now in one place. When we need to update a NuGet package to a new version, we can just do this from the Directory.Packages.props file, and it's going to be automatically applied to any csproj files that we have in the solution. So a typical example might be a test project where we are referencing the XUnit library in most of the test projects, and you can see the current version that I have here is 2.7.1. Now, another common thing that can happen here is that you end up with different NuGet package versions between your csproj files. So let's say this test project uses XUnit 2.7.0 and the other one uses XUnit 2.7.1. Now you have a mismatch, and when you're updating this, it might be easy to miss. With Central Package Management, the XUnit package version is defined in just one place, and all you have to do is update that one place. Now, another benefit is that the built-in tools within Visual Studio, the NuGet Package Manager, also respects Central Package Management, and any updates that you make here using the Update tab are going to be automatically applied to the Directory.Packages.props file. So instead of doing this migration manually, is there a better way to approach this with some CLI tool? So of course there is, and I'm going to show you one of the available options. It's a global tool called Central Package Converter. I'm going to leave the link to this repository in the description below this video, and how you can use this is actually very straightforward. So you have to just install this as a global tool by copying this command, and once you do that, you have access to the Central Package Converter command, where you just provide a path to your project file. So let's see how this is going to work on a solution with 40 projects. So I'm first going to drop in the command to install the Centralized Package Converter tool, and because I already have this installed, this is going to complete quickly. Now, this gives me access to the Central Package Converter command, where I can pass in the path to my project file. Now, because I'm already within this directory, I can just tell it to use the current folder, and if I specify the dry run flag, this is just going to process my solution and any projects inside, and it's going to give me the output of what the Directory.Packages.props file should look like without making any updates. So let's go ahead and execute this. And you can see we get the contents of the Directory.Packages.props file. As you can see, it's setting manage package version centrally to true, and then we have our package versions defined in alphabetic order. So let's say I'm happy with this. Let's go for the actual run, and I'm going to run this without the dry run command. And what it's first going to do is detect any csproj files, including the directory.build.props file, which I have defined. And here I'm configuring a global Sonar Analyzer NuGet package. So let's say I'm happy with this. I'm going to type in yes, and then this is going to proceed to process all of my project files. It's going to find any references to NuGet packages that I might have, and finally is going to produce a Directory.Packages.props file. Back in Visual Studio, if I import this Directory.Packages.props file, we can see the contents inside. So as I said, it's setting manage package version centrally to true. It's defining a separate package version for the Sonar Analyzer C# package, and this was pulled from my Directory.Build.props file. And then you can see an item group containing all of the other NuGet packages and their respective versions. What's also interesting is how it's going to resolve conflicts. So remember that for XUnit, I had two different versions in my architecture tests and my integration tests. One of them was using 2.7.0 and the other one was using 2.7.1. And when converting this to Central Package Management, we're going to fall back to the higher version. Now, of course, this is also going to update my other csproj files to properly use just a package reference. So within a matter of moments, we managed to migrate to Central Package Management. If I observe the other csproj files in this solution, then you'll see that all of this was updated to work properly with Central Package Management. Now, another thing that we can do now is actually make sure that this solution builds, and you can see that the build is successful. Now, one more thing I want to show you is managing the NuGet packages for my entire solution, and I'll navigate to the Updates tab. This is going to list out any NuGet packages that are not at their latest version, and I can try doing select all packages and then YOLO updating all of them. However, this is going to be a bit risky, so let's keep it safe. And I'm just going to update one package, let's say bogus. Let's click Update. And this should make the respective update within my Directory.Packages.props file. And once this completes, you can see that bogus is no longer in the list. And also in my Directory.Packages.props, it's been updated to the latest version. And now this is all that's required to automatically apply this update to any projects that reference this NuGet library. We can continue doing this for all of the other NuGet packages that we have. And one thing I like about this is that it really minimizes the chances for running into a merge conflict when merging together multiple pull requests. If you are using Central Package Management, then this becomes much easier to manage. Also, if you want to grab the source code for this video and all of the other videos on my channel, you can do that by subscribing to my Patreon and supporting my work. And if you want to learn what are the 6 best practices that I always apply to my new .NET projects, then I recommend that you check out this video next. Make sure to smash the like button on your way out. Take a look at my courses if you want to improve your software architecture skills, and until next time, stay awesome.